Very warm welcome to Africa at Play, the continent's best sport and music destination. We're still in conversation with Mr. Ngobese, who is the director of Gijima Athletics News. Quite exciting initiative indeed. Even cars sometimes don't make it for 90 kilometers. You will see it on the side of the road with the dark exhaust that, this car is actually not coping. A human being completes 90 kilometers. That says a lot about such a person. Please take us through your experience of the Comrades Marathon.
That is one of the toughest course I've ever run in my life. It's tough, but it's doable. It's up to you.
Yeah.
Once you tell yourself that, no, I'm going to do it, you will do it.
How long did it take you to convince yourself that you can do it? Because I know with a lot of Comrade Marathon runners, it starts with having to convince yourself, because we're not talking 21 kilometers here, we're not talking 42 kilometers here, we're talking 90 kilometers, and that's not a child's play, especially when it's an up run from eThekwini to Mgungundlovu.
Actually, it's taken me only 2 years to convince myself that, no, this one I can do it. And when I do it, I was a student at University of KwaZulu-Natal. It was still run on the 16th of June, and on the 17th of June I was writing my exam the next day.
Yeah.
I ran it on the 16th of June. Yes.
And a day later you were writing exams.
Yes, I was writing an exam early in the morning and afternoon.
I want to see those results. Because I can just imagine the state you were on, after 90 kilometers, and now you've got to go into the exam room and focus. It must have been a very challenging one. How did it go? An exam day before, the Comrades Marathon day before, and the exam day later. How were you in the exam room? Your legs, were you coping?
I was coping very, very well, because I started training early, and then I knew that it was a double trouble for me that I have to overcome, and I finally overcome it.
Wow. And you say that, before 2010, you had this dream in your mind to say, Gijima Athletics News has to be there. It's a superpower idea. And I also like the name that you came up with, Gijima. To the African continent, in case you are troubled with this name, Gijima means run, which is an isiZulu word. Now, you've gone through those challenges. You didn't have it on time, but eventually you made it happen in 2018. How did you feel when you saw this baby finally born and, doing the most out there as a baby that is still growing into becoming an amazing adult one day?
No, it felt awesome. It felt awesome because I've been waiting for too long. From 2010 until 2018 is not a short time. But eventually, God gave me power to start it, because, to be honest with you, I'm going to tell you that I started Gijima Athletics News with my construction wage.
Yeah. So you sacrificed having cheese on the table to make certain that one day Gijima Athletics News gets born.
Exactly.
Wow. And in terms of the family setup, who were you getting support from? Because sometimes people never understand one's idea, and it takes a while to actually persuade them into understanding that, no man, Ubaba is doing this and it's for a good cause.
Yeah, to be honest, let me tell you that nobody pushed me to do, or even they can support me emotionally, but financially I had to make sure that I push finance so that Gijima Athletics News can be a dream come true.
And now it's a dream come true. Gijima Athletics News is out there. Let's talk about some of the stories that are close to your heart that you've covered under the umbrella of Gijima.
It was a Comrades Marathon 2023. That was last year, where too many records were broken.
Yeah.
We were in Durban during that time.
Yeah. And who are some of the athletes that you've covered who have amazing stories out there? Sometimes you find someone who works at a place that's not paying them well, but they get into sport, they get into athletics, and they start realizing that once you have athletics as a professional career, it can actually bring good bucks to the table?
When I started Gijima Athletics News, actually I wanted to close a gap that existed between, because what I saw is that a mainstream media, yes, they do broadcast or cover athletics, but they don't go deep to the ground.
Yeah.
That is where Gijima Athletics News, we want to go. And to be honest with you, we have not had an exclusive interviews with athletes at the moment.
Okay.
Because remember, we started in 2018, 2019, 2020 came COVID-19.
Yeah.
And it gave us a sucker punch, I don't want to lie to you.
Yeah.
And we went down to the canvas, but after that, I said, no, I'm coming back.
Yeah.
I'm that person who have a never say die attitude.
Yeah. And I can believe that you definitely coming back, because I remember when I met you at the Hollywood Athletics Club Awards, I could see that you are on board to do what you love the most. How was it when it comes to covering that event?
It was an awesome opportunity, and I thank Hollywood for inviting us. It was a great opportunity. Because today I'm here.
Yeah.
If it wasn't through their invitation,
yeah,
I wouldn't be
we
here.
wouldn't have met.
Yes.
Yeah. So the importance of being at the right place at the right time. Let's talk about future plans. Yes, COVID came and it caused distraction. A lot of people never thought we would come out of COVID. A lot of people had written life off, and it's good to see that people are bouncing back to make certain that their dreams do not die a natural death. What future plans are we talking for Gijima Athletics News?
There are projects on the pipeline. Actually, we want to start a marathon where we will commemorate the passing of a Zulu king. But it's still on the pipeline and still conducting right people at the right time. So that marathon is still under construction right now.
And once the construction stage has been completed, are there plans to have it as an annual event?
Of course, it will be an annual event.
Yeah, and yes. I take it will then take place in KZN, so that it represents where the king comes from.
Exactly, you are correct.
Wow, and what gave birth to this exciting event of coming up with this idea of a marathon?
During 2021, you remember when the former president was arrested, what happened after that?
Yeah.
Yes, so this marathon, I sometimes call it a peace marathon.
Okay.
Because we want to make sure that events of that nature will never happen again in our country.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow, that's super exciting indeed. And you are now based in Johannesburg.
Yes.
Now, being based in Johannesburg, are we likely to see Gijima Athletics News perhaps coming up with another idea of a marathon in Johannesburg, the city of gold?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But we'll take things once at a time.
One step at a time, at 15:38 Central African time. If you have just joined us, we are in conversation with the director of Gijima Athletics News, Mr. Ngobese, who's doing the most out there, making certain that, the gap that prevails between the mainstream media and the online media does not prevail because of the work that he does under the umbrella of Gijima Athletics News. And Mr. Ngobese, now that you've got this baby finally born, and the baby grows, and when the baby grows, there's demands in terms of now beefing up the team as Gijima Athletics News. Are you working on that? Because as the brand gets known, it's more the demand will also rise in terms of making certain that you beef up the necessary resources.
Yes, I'm on the verge of beefing up, but as I said before, the financial situation prevent us to move at the pace we wanted to. But definitely we'll beef up.
Yeah. Have you ever had conversations with Athletics South Africa?
Yes, I had. I had with there is a guy there they call the Sifiso Tsele.
Yeah,
I
and
think
that was Fiso Card, yeah.
yes, we had a lot of conversation with him
Yeah,
before.
yeah. And is it going in the right direction?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
It is.
1540 Central African time. We take a short break. When we come back, we're wrapping up the conversation with an amazing gentleman who's devoted his life to the world of athletics, Mr. Sfiso Ngobese, who is the director of Gijima Athletics News. And you spoke about future plans, and I'm certain that some of the plans are definitely under the carpet. What are these hidden plans that perhaps you're still going to cook?
Mm, there are too many future plans that are still going to happen at Gijima Athletics News, but let me not divulge them right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still a secret.
Yes.
And when they are ready to be out there, are you coming back to Africa at Play so we can break this news?
You will be the first to know.
Fantastico. Let's talk about athletes. I mean, we've seen during the last World Athletics Championships in Budapest, Hungary, where Team South Africa came back empty-handed. As Gijima Athletics News, what did you say about that situation?
No, it was not a good situation. I think Athletics South Africa has a lot to do together with the coaches of the athletes. Because it's not about Athletics South Africa. Athletics South Africa can do everything, but if the problem is on the training pitch there, then that is where I think they should start.
And as someone who covers athletics, what have you zoomed in terms of things that are happening on the ground? Because sometimes you find a scenario where an athlete could travel to, let's say, Hungary as an example, but you find that they land there late, maybe even a day before the event or just hours before the meeting starts, that kind of a vibe. And those are issues that can be disturbing factors, and you find that athletes do not perform because of logistics were not taken care of. What have you picked up on the ground as, admin cracks, so to put it?
We didn't concentrate on that much as Gijima Athletics News. I don't want to lie on air. We didn't concentrate much on that. But what I can say, as you have said, the issue of logistics needs to be taken very care of by the administrators, because that is not for an athlete, it's for administrators.
Yeah.
Yes.
And obviously, if that is not taken good care of, then it obviously affects the performance of the athlete.
Exactly.
Yeah. You spoke about the gap that you wanted to close as Gijima Athletics News in terms of what you've witnessed from what the linear media, the mainstream media covers, and you saw a gap there to say they don't go deeper into the situations. What do you mean by that?
I meant the likes of high school athletics, university athletics, and the small marathons that are taking place all over South Africa. Although, even us at Gijima Athletics, we can't cover each and every race, but we are prepared to cover that much.
Is there talent that you've picked up on that comes from the rural areas that made it against all odds? Because we know sometimes people from the rural areas, they would rather come to Johannesburg or go to the nearby cities for their talent to be realized. What have you picked up on the ground in as far as rural talent is concerned?
Nothing yet, because we are still 1.5 years after COVID-19. So there's nothing yet we pick up from the rural areas. But we are willing to go there and look at those things.
Yeah. And since you're still playing catch up because of the delay that was caused by COVID-19, how far are you from being at a comfortable ground where you can say Gijima Athletics News has arrived?
We are closer, but we need to work very, very hard as Gijima Athletics News.
Your thoughts on African athletes?
Uh, They are good. Some of them are good. You look at there's an athlete, I forgot his name, from Botswana, who just broke a record in Pilgis Stadium in Pretoria. The likes of Omanyala from Kenya, and he's doing fantastic. That guy. Yeah. So the status is good. Yeah.
And then are you basing your coverage just on South African athletes, or part of the future plans would be to go continental and of course even go global?
We are already global.
You're already global?
Yes.
So people in the UK know you?
We have visitors from United States of America. We have visitors from Europe, the likes of Germany, England. We have visitors from Kenya. The Kenyans have surprised us because on our analytics, they are number 3 in terms of visitors. And we like to thank them for it.
And how does it feel knowing that now you've gone global, you're even drawing attention from various global stakeholders?
No, it feels good. It feels good that the work that I put on the Gijima Athletics News is now well known globally.
Wow, fantastico. And what is it that you would still like to do that you haven't done and you thought by now you should have done it?
Is to talk to the Athletics South Africa president, Babu Moloi. Yeah, that is what I wanted to do now.
Have you sent a request to have a meeting with him?
Not yet, but it's on the pipeline.
It's on the pipeline?
Yes.
Okay. And without even telling us everything, but what are you hoping to achieve out of that conversation when it finally happens?
We are looking to achieve is the state of athletics in South Africa, especially in rural areas. As I have alluded before.
Correct. Wow, lovely stuff. Mr. Sfiso Ngobese, the director of Gijima Athletics News based in South Africa, and this is an online publication, and he says they've gone global. Various visitors from various parts of the world have gone into their website, and that's beautiful work indeed. Mr. Ngobese, thank you so much for making time to come and have an awesome conversation with us on Africa at Play. All the best moving forward. Keep doing the awesome work and keep going global, because everything that goes global turns into gold.
Thank you very much once again for having us at Gijima Athletics News. We really appreciate it, together with your crew. Thank you very much, guys. You have been fantastic.
Yeah.